Checking and seeing if we're live. Okay, Instagram, we're not live, so I'm going to go live on Instagram. Give me 1 second, family. Just realized that okay, so here we go. We're going to be going live. Still getting the hang of Restream, everyone, so thank you for your patience as we're getting the hang of, as we move through these different platforms, we're getting the hang of these different tools and resources to be able to broadcast to more spaces and places. So, my billionaire soul greetings and my billionaire soul blessings, my billionaire soul family. Coming on with a very, very important, very simple, profound, yet very complex message. And a lot of you have been seeing that I write, I am God consciousness. And the invitation is to remind you, you are not your name. See, we justify playing small. Say, I'm not God. I'm not God. No, how can I be God? But yet you think you're your name. Like, that's the greatest trick the ego ever pulled. But it had to, because we could not exist in these bodies if we knew who we truly are. Now, when I say I am God, I'm not saying Michael is God. Let me clarify that very, very clearly. I am a servant. This is a vessel. This body is a vessel. This body is an instrument. But me saying I am God consciousness cannot hinder, lessen, tarnish, damage, or insult, or destroy, or even affect what we call God, source, universe. Trust me, I did it. I cursed it. I fought it. And I'm telling you that I discovered so much love that you playing your name. I mean, it's a journey we had to all go through. But you playing your name, you can only feel the intellect so much. You can only accomplish so much. You can only throw away so much. In either path that you go on, you come to the same conclusion, the same realization. Nothing seems to be working. And then you ask yourself, what is true? What is real? And see, when I say Michael, and I give that character importance, not that I don't value it, not that I'm not grateful for it, not that I don't appreciate it, but when I was using that character playing as God, meaning being so concerned with what others thought of me, being so concerned with how I looked, how I sounded, if I spoke professional enough, like the coach lingo, if I knew how to tell a story, if I knew how to, do a close, if I knew how to speak the lingo. This doesn't matter in the sense of following your heart. Brow Queen, great to see your beautiful reflection. See, when you say you are God, you're not saying you, the character, is God. The character is an instrument. I'm going to repeat that again. Because when you say you are who you are, you're actually minimizing everything that you're capable of. And I'll explain. I'm going to keep this very short, but I'm going to be sharing much more on this. So if you want to hear more, follow for more. But I'm going to ask you, why is it that you think somebody has more potential than you? Maybe they practiced more. Maybe they got inspired since they were a kid. Their father inspired them. Their neighbor inspired them. Maybe they were given a great word. Because if you look at the story of greats from time immemorial, they had a shift. and they realized that they had potential. And this is the invitation to give yourself permission to give yourself that permission to receive that potential. Because you can be an athlete, you can be an actor, because we're all actors. Shakespeare said it best. Life is a stage, and we're all actors playing on this grand stage. So if you're giving such importance to your character, to your name, to your identity, let me ask you, how's that working out for you? How is that working out for you, playing this character? And no matter how much success you have, I'm connected with very successful people, and most of them are not happy. Most of them are not fulfilled. Most of them play this character, this role that makes us believe that they're successful. But the greatest success that you can attain, or not attain, excuse me, the greatest success that you can realize is who you are. And it's an ever-ending quest. Because the more you discover who you are, it's like the more you love. And I'm not talking about love like you love someone because you feel like you want to love this person. I'm talking about your vibrating love. I'm talking about your breathing and your pulsing love. And this comes from being unconditional, unbiased with yourself, and reflecting this unbiased with others. See, when you have bias, whatever that justification is, then you're going to compromise that love with yourself. And yes, you're going to feel and you're going to experience love, but then you're going to experience these highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows, because it's an addiction that we have to look outside of ourselves. And this is why I say that we play God as these egos. So when I look outside of myself, I'm denying who I am. It's like we all walk around society, many of us walk around society. Baptist G, thank you for joining us. Great to see you, beautiful mirror. I've seen you before, I think. If not, it sounds familiar. But the familiarity is the love energy. So I see you and I love you. And we are one. So thank you for being here. Truly. So when we walk around, nobody really says this. Nobody really says this, but this is what we're saying. And even I say it to this day. But yet I'm aware of that dialogue. I'm aware of that conversation because it's not even me conversating. It's all the patterns and the programs that are becoming conscious from the unconscious that I'm like, oh, I see you. But that's the God within that is aware of that. The ego cannot be aware of these things. The ego is trying to self-protect. The ego is trying to self-preserve. That's all it cares about. It doesn't care about us being the most successful or being the worst failures. This is why you see great people fail. And this is why you see people, you're like that person shouldn't be successful because that doesn't determine it. And that's a whole other conversation, and we can share that with more lives that come. The point of this live is to say that if you are justifying that your character is real, then you're denying the God that you are, because your character is like your vehicle that you drive. When you drive your vehicle, do you say, and I'm not promoting anything, but do you say, I'm a Saturn? I'm a Volvo? I'm a Chrysler? And I'm just picking these things by random. Or when you wear your shirts, do you say, I'm Haynes? Like, this is who I am? No, of course not. But why are we so easily convinced to believe that this is who I am? This Michael, because the Michael that people and I knew 5 years ago, 10 years ago, is not the same Michael that's sitting right here. And this is why, because when you surrender to the higher mind, even Albert Einstein said it best, we cannot solve a problem with the same level of mind that created it. So the problem is the effect. But the same level of mind is the cause. So when we go to the cause, what level of mind are we coming from? Because we can come from the level of mind of this intellectual and be so sophisticated. This is why the greatest PhDs, the greatest professors, the greatest philosophers, the greatest people that are looking outside of them are the ones that are the most miserable. Because when you have such an attachment to what you think is true, you will not let it go. You will protect it with your life. And this is why we have wars all over the world. This is just this bigger collective ego that says, I am right and you are wrong and mine is right and it feels good and it feels positive and it feels true. This can go from politics, from religion, from countries, from gangs. which Michael was a part of the gang lifestyle, and I see it repeat itself in programs everywhere. And this is why I share with you today. I invite you to tell yourself, even right now, tell yourself, I am God consciousness. I am divine consciousness. I am Christ consciousness. You're not going to disrespect the all-pervasive, supreme essence of all that is. I'm telling you, I did this. I spit on things when I was a kid. I was angry at God. I was angry at whatever that faith was because it took my parents away. So I blamed God for my mom being in church and not being at home with me that I was 9 years young. My dad left. So I blamed God for taking away my parents. And then people will tell me, oh, God loves you. I'm like, well, God loved me. Why is my mom at church at 10 o'clock at night and me and my sister are like all alone? We're not feeling the love of God. So if you're a parent and you go to church, show your child that you are the love of God in your example, not just taking them to church. Show them God through you. And what is God? God is everything. But if we're talking about these higher levels of ascended consciousness, of higher mind, 5D, people talk about these different things. But it's so simple. It's unconditional love, kindness, patience, the virtues of the subtler energies, because it's easy to get angry. So it's like robbing a bank. It's easy to go rob a bank. I could get money like that if I don't get caught, right? But if I get caught, then I realize, dang, that wasn't easy money. But if I don't get caught, then it's easy money. But easy money comes, easy money goes. I've been in that life. Never robbed banks, but I can tell you from an example that it's a metaphor. I've never robbed a bank in this life. So what I'm getting at, and we're concluding the message with this because I really desire to keep it short for all of you, is that give yourself permission to say, I am God consciousness. I am Goddess consciousness. I am Buddha consciousness. I am Christ consciousness. Because at the end of the day, these that you're mentioning are from higher levels of consciousness. So if that is not in alignment with you, you are going to discover for yourself. I'm not going to tell you what that is. See, if I tell you what that is, I'm no different than anybody else telling you to feed you this intellectual structure to make you think that you're this boxed in individual, even at the ascended states of consciousness that I tell you, this is who you are. This is why all the ascended mirrors of consciousness, or what people call ascended masters, they all, and spiritual guides, gurus, they all said the same thing. Like, it's not this, it's not that, it's much more. It's beyond the beyond. It's beyond what you can even comprehend. And when you're willing to die to this avatar that you think you are, that's love. And it's so easy to say it, but that's why I say it's so complex. So without having a guide, if you need assistance, we're here to support you. And let me tell you this. Take a breath. Feel your body. Feel the breath. And let whatever thoughts are coming, let them come and go. That's not who you are. Let the thoughts come and go. These are just filters of programs, structures, constructs that have conditioned you, that you've agreed to, you've allowed. Nothing happens to you by against free will. So the unconditional love is accepting that you agreed for whatever happened in your life. You agreed. And it's not like I agreed to suffer. I agreed for me to be abused. I agreed for, this or that or the other. I'm not talking about that. That's intellectual thinking. I'm talking about beyond what you can even think. You agreed to be here. You agreed to be here. You agreed to be here now. This is why you're listening to this message, because this message is from you to you. The God consciousness that you are, I'm simply the vessel. I'm simply the channel. Let me repeat that again in a different way. Michael is simply the channel, is the vessel. I is the source. Michael surrenders to the I, and the I transmits through Michael. And it's transmitting through us all. But if we don't know our technology, just like if we don't know our phones, if we don't know our brains, how they function, how they operate, just like if you don't have the app for Instagram, for Facebook, for YouTube, for whatever platform you're watching this on, you cannot access this video. So there's messages on the higher dimensions coming through. But if you're not tapping in, surrendering to those higher dimensions, because you can't control it. It's not like I'm accessing higher dimensions, like I'm going to control it. No, that's not how this works. That's why the intellect has to fail. That's why you being right has to fail. Because you being right, you're just edifying the structure that you think you are. You're just thinking that this is real. You think that this is real. But yet you wonder why you can't sleep at night. You wonder why you toss and turn. You wonder why you do the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. Not that you shouldn't. That you choose that you no longer want to do because it doesn't serve the path that you're dedicated to. But then you judge yourself because you think you're wrong, you're bad. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about good or bad. It's about choices, and it's about the free will, and it's about the cause and effect of those choices. So judgment has no place. This is when we're tapping into the higher mind, there is no duality. There is no this or that. This is why the Ascended One said, it's not about this, it's not about that. And that's why Jesus spoke in parables. Ask yourself, why Jesus spoke in parables? Because he desired to leave the mystery of the seeker to go within. And of course, this is why he discipled his disciples. As much as they thought they knew, he needed to disciple them. So this is why Ali and I are looking for disciples. Not that we're lower than anybody or higher than anybody, but I'm discipled. I disciple myself because I surrender to that discipleship. So you're going to realize this truth whether you choose it or not. And to give that more context, is if I drink, no, I'm not judging anybody that does this. If I drink alcohol and I get drunk and I just act like a fool because why do I drink? Because I don't feel like I have the courage to be myself. So I need a drink because I think it gives me courage, but then it gives me so much courage that I make a fool out of myself. And then I make a fool out of myself and I say, why do I drink with the hangover the next day? I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why do I continue these patterns? That's the question that we have. But when that question comes up, we distract ourselves with the cover to that question. Now, what question are you asking yourself that you're covering up with the distraction? And this is not for you to judge yourself. This is for you to just become self-aware. We're bringing the unconscious to the conscious mind. Remember, the conscious mind only operates 5%. So when you start coming from this love frequency, this love state, this unbiased, neutral, accepting life as it is the ultimate love. Accepting you as you are is the ultimate love. Accepting your partner as they are, not trying to change them, not trying to save them, not trying to fix them, not trying to control them, because that's all control. So if we do it to others, we're definitely doing it to ourselves. That's why we're trying to control others, because we feel like we have no control of who we are. And that's because we give the name the importance of God. Now, this is a very controversial conversation because, you know, I'm here for this mission, and for those that are not ready, then I love you, but I'm here to play with this, because when you play with this, your name will serve you. You, the God consciousness, not you, the ego. When you take this journey, your name, your identity, well, not the identity that you've chosen, the personality that you've desired, you chose to make up, to clothe yourself in, to identify and convey yourself as, that is something that you've chosen because it got you to where you are. But what got you to where you are is not going to take you to that next level. This is why this is why coaching is so popular. This is why mentorship is so popular. But when someone does not work on this level of consciousness, they're just going to feed the intellect. And yes, you're going to succeed. Yes, you're going to make the money. Yes, you're going to awaken these levels. But then the awakening of these levels are going to feed the intellect, and the intellect comes from right and wrong, judgment and acceptance, all these different things. And then you're going to feel like you're not enough, and then you're going to wonder what's wrong with you, and you're going to want to probably feel like you're going crazy. But it's not you that's going crazy. It's that name that is just dissolving into the illusion that it was purposefully designed to be utilized for. So just like when you're watching this video, am I really there in front of you, or am I somewhere else? But really, we're in the heart. You're watching me on a video, but I'm not in front of you. So you see the identity, but it's not there. So this can go, I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole. And much love to my wife, because she's taking this God consciousness all over the world right now. She's actually in Martha's Vineyard right now. And we're being called to serve so that other people can experience this, and teaching meditation, helping people detox. My wife has different options on the holistic side. I work with the vibrational side. Excuse me. Michael surrenders as a vessel for the vibrational side. My wife surrenders as a vessel for the detox side, for the emotional therapeutic side. So whatever you need support in, please reach out. And if you know people that need support, pay it forward. Share this with someone. Tag someone. Share this, and let's make this go viral. Because we see people give so much attention to their identity that even when they go viral, one little thing that goes wrong, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough anymore. This is why social media has become our own personal, like I don't want to say this word, but curse. I mean, we look on social media, like, I wish I was there. I wish I was that person. Why can't I be like that? Oh my gosh. And all of us doing the best that we can. This is no judgment. If you're doing this consciously, if you're doing this to just use and abuse others, it's because you're using and abusing yourself. And you think you're using and abusing others, but you're just using and abusing the mirrors that are there to mirror that abuse to you. And it's not going to feel good one day. You can only take enough, because it's like Scrooge. You can only take enough to put in your vault. But what do you have that gold in your vault for? Just to sit there? It's meant to be utilized. It's meant to be expressed. It's meant to be shared. It's meant to be lived. And this is why I'm doing this video today, because this is why I stayed quiet, because this subject is what I've always wanted to share. But it's not easy to share this subject, because it's a subject that it's a subject that causes the ego to surrender. It causes the ego in that wanting to surrender, but feeling attacked. Because what is the justification of the ego? How can you say you are God? Everything is God. Everyone is God. All is God. When I say God, I'm not talking about a person in the clouds. I'm saying that out of respect. I'm talking about this. Experience it for yourself. Because if I say what I think it is, then I'm not giving it justice. It's this ever-pervading, pure substance, presence, awareness of everything and nothing at the same time. Whatever you think it is, it's everything. Because beyond that is the creative substance of everything that's been created. So whenever you deny something, you're denying the other part of the whole. And this is holistic journey. When you're going through your holistic journey, the purging part is just as important as the healing part. See, a lot of us talk about healing, but we don't talk about the most important part, which is the purging. And if you don't purge, when you're taking those minerals, whatever vitamins you're taking, and this is why I share the water, then what you're doing is you're just flushing it out. Because when your body's toxic, it cannot accept it as well as it would if it was purified. And of course, there's different levels to this, so we're going to be sharing much more. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. And just realize this. Realize this. As I ask you to breathe, as I ask you to be with yourself, you feel and you know that there's something more when you close your eyes. Maybe a moment of boredom. And instead of sitting with that boredom, we're scrolling. We're looking on the TV, looking on the computer. We're reading. I've read countless books. All of these books do not even come close to what I'm sharing, that I've been humbled and grateful and honored to connect with, and to reconnect to this God supreme essence that I'm not even able to convey. Yet, doing my best, I can say that when you breathe and those thoughts come and go, you realize that there's someone aware of those thoughts. There's something aware of those thoughts. That's why you don't like certain thoughts, and that's why you distract yourself with other thoughts. But then this is the hamster's wheel. As you go up, you got to come down. As you go up, you got to come down. As you go up, you got to come down. Just like a roller coaster. It just goes in circles. So if you're sick and tired of going in circles, then this is your opportunity. Reach out to me or my wife, and if we can't help you, help yourself, then we will point you in a direction that someone that can help you at the level of the consciousness that you are. Just like when I recommend a book. Someone says, what book would you recommend, Michael? I needed to treat it like a doctor. What books have you read? What is your level of mental, intellectual real estate? What is it you think life is? What is your interpretation of it? Because if I share something that is so pure and so potent, the ego will try to control it instead of surrendering to what it's actually saying on deeper, higher, subtler levels of consciousness. And when I say higher, I don't mean higher, lower, like we've been taught about this intellectual. When I say higher, I mean it is beyond what we can even talk about. And this is why I invite people to get on a call. And if this resonates with you, let's take it to the next level, because you already are at that next level. And I mean, just take into consideration someone that works at a triathlon or a Spartan or, America's Got Talent, and you see these people shine that seem like nobody. Where does that talent come from? It comes from the energy. It comes from the source. It's not their personality that's talented. It's the source that is expressing the love of whatever they're desiring to express through them. So, like I was giving the example of, being drunk and being hungover the next day. If you are sick and tired of being drunk on the intellect, on the rational, logical, analytical, thinking, controlling, yet in no control, ego, brain, mind, because it does not have no control. That's the illusion that we think we have control when we give our name this importance, this entitlement. I did for many years. And let me tell you, you will come to the conclusion of what I'm sharing today, somewhere, somehow, some way, with a deeper part of yourself. But you can today. So, if you want to schedule a call, or I would invite you to ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And if you have challenges with that, then reach out. But if you're able to sit with that, if you're able to marinate on that, no matter what diabolical, evil, stressful, critical, chaotic, condemning, punishing, judgmental, rage, vengeful, violent, sick thoughts that you may have, if you're able to sit with that, then you don't need. You got it. But if it's challenging for you to sit with that, this is why I offer the support. Because trust me, I've been there, and I know it's not easy. It's simple, super simple for the soul. But it's not easy. It's complicated. It's confusing for the maze of the ego, brain, mind. Because you have a mind that is beyond this, and that is the God mind. So I invite you, as you go throughout your day, even as you go to sleep tonight, tell yourself, I am God. I am Christ. I am the Christ. Because its essence, its consciousness, as long as you follow in those examples of love, forgiveness, kindness, you're honest with yourself and everyone around you, there's nowhere to hide anymore. There's nothing to hide. You will live a life that you can't even imagine is possible. So thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for you, because this is all about you. It's not about Michael. It's about you. You manifested this moment right here, right now. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But like I said, if you need assistance, reach out. We also have a free group that we're creating, Gardeners of Higher Consciousness, so we can work on this energy. And those that want deeper support, we can go into deeper support. because there's intimate levels that is not easy to share. And it's not easy to become aware of those because they're so subtle. It's like you got to get really quiet to hear it. But yet, thank you. Thank you for being here. So from my wife and I, that we love you so much. And the reason why I say we love you so much is because we love God so much. And when we love God so much, we love all so much. And we can do what Jesus did on that cross and said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Can you forgive those that you're trying to find a justification for something to change in the future and not living your life now? Can you forgive yourself for whatever you did in the past? It's already done. Free yourself from the conditionings, the chains, and the constructs that are the limitation of what you chose to experience, but that's not who you are. This is your vehicle of the one that is you and I. When I say your vehicle, I'm not saying your name's vehicle. I'm saying the consciousness that you are. The consciousness that unites us all. That when you see somebody suffer on TV, you're like, oh my gosh, that hurt me. That's what I'm talking about. And then when you see someone succeed, when you're not going through these traumatic, conditioned, limiting thoughts, you'll say, oh my gosh, that's me too. That's God. That's Christ. That's why Christ said, when you take off your shirt and you give it to another, you give it unto me. It's like giving it unto me. So Christ was telling us, and he also said, when he raised Lazarus from the dead, first he said, do not worship me, because it is my Father that I do these works. And then he said, ye all can do these things and greater in my Father's name. He raised someone from the dead. So if he told us that we could do more greater things than that, he was talking about something much more subtler, that you can raise yourself from the dead. Because a lot of you feel like you're dead right now. A lot of you feel like artificial, fake, imposters, feel not good enough, not worthy enough, not there enough. And I just told you earlier when I started this video, those thoughts still show up. But when I realize they're just thoughts, they're my children so that I can raise and create the legacy for God that desires to flow in free through me, through you. So, thank you, everyone. I said I'm doing one live every day, so this is my live every day. I want to do 3 lives, but yeah, been go all day today. So the dedication is 1 live every day. So stay tuned, follow for more, connect, friend. Like I said, my Calendly is available, which is an extension of a virtual vibrational extension of the one heart that we are. So when we get on that Calendly, it's all about you. It's all about you. It's not about Michael. It's not about how, I'm going to try to show you how good I am and how much I could coach you. It's not about that. It's about surrendering and allowing that third state, which is that God consciousness state, to come through. And we realize we're talking not to each other, but that God is speaking to itself. And that is magic. That is where the vibrational medicine, the healing, the transformation, it's not Michael. It's not you. It's God that does the transformation. It's God, the source, the universe, whatever you call that does the transformation. So, thank you again. We'll see you again tomorrow for another live. We will be on. It's already really late, so I'm going to do my best to wake up tomorrow. I wasn't going to come back until next week, but I'm playing it and feeling it that I'm probably going to be coming on tomorrow to do the continuing 8 minutes with an eternity now meditation, vibrational medicine meditation that I do Monday through Fridays. That I don't do, that Michael facilitates every Monday through Friday so that God can, serve and show and flow through us all, whoever's on. Because whether you watch this on the live or on the replay, time and space and form do not limit God's consciousness. So whether you watch this on the replay, it's going to hit you just the same as you watch this live. I just said a lot there that if you think about it, it shocks the ego because it doesn't want to believe that. Victoria, great to see you, beautiful mirror. So if you think about that, and I'm going to finish, or I'm going to finalize the message with this because something just hit me right now. When you say, like, for example, if I say I am Michael, then that Michael is going to come with all the stories, all the things that it's been through, because it's going to justify why, like, it's hard, why I can't do it, right? But when I realize, wait, I'm not my name. When I go to sleep at night, I'm not my name. I'm not even conscious of this body anymore. Some of us don't even know or don't even dream. Some of us go to sleep and we just wake up and it feels like, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes it feels like a week. There is no time for consciousness. So when you go to sleep, your conscious goes to sleep. Your unconscious wakes up. But because your conscious is not worked on, you're not tapping into that unconscious. That's why some of us are not able to dream, or not being able to interpret those dreams, or not even to be able to be aware. And here's another one that most people don't even realize. I didn't realize this, that you can actually reawaken within your dream. And once you reawaken within your dream, you realize that your whole dream is you. And I take people through envisioning exercises. So if you would love practice envisioning exercise, where I'm going to prove you to yourself that this is true, because I'm not going to tell you it's true. I'm going to let you experience it and see if it's true for you. And I haven't had one person tell me that it's not true. And one thing I'll say is this, is when you reawaken in this world, you realize that everyone is you. If you're in a bad mood, you're going to attract and manifest other reflections of you in a bad mood. Or maybe not in a bad mood, but in a lower state of consciousness, where then they're now going to be trying to save you, trying to fix you, trying to change you. And if you're in this, and I'm not talking about, because we all got to start somewhere. Fake it till you make it. Let me tell you, you're already faking it. Big newsflash. You're already faking it. Do you know how you're faking it? When you think you're not enough. Feel your heart. Your heart never, not once, stops beating a beat. Now, yes, you could put your body through trauma. I did. I had cardiac arrest. I had a seizure. Michael had a seizure. Michael had cardiac arrest. Michael had overdose. I put this body through so much crisis and pain and trauma. But because I don't identify with the name, this body doesn't stop me. This is the secret, and I'm not saying I'm a doctor. I'm not here to cure, treat, diagnose, or a therapist or anything like that. But I'll tell you that this is the fountain of youth. Love. The fountain of youth is being present with what is, and knowing that you are not your name. And when you say I am your name, like, for example, when you say, I'm Michael, but I am sad, I am angry, I am not enough, you're using the authority that God gave us to remind us that we are God, as one God through us all. That when we use that authority, we're actually embodying that energy, and then we're wondering why things don't seem to work. We wonder why we seem to attract and manifest the same patterns, the same programs, the same constructs, the same worlds, the same universes. That we're not enough. And we're proven right. And Henry Ford said it best. Whether you think you're right, or whether you think you can or you can't, either way you're right. Because you are the creator of your own reality. No one else can create for you. They can influence you, and no one else can take your power. Trust me. The only one that can take your power is if you agree that someone has that power. This can be unconscious. This is why this work is so important. But at the same time, don't think somebody else is more powerful than you either. That is the same, but in a different way. Realize that you are God. And you are not going to disrespect God. You're not blaspheming God. You know what blasphemy is God? And this is why we have so many wars. This is why we have so much dis-ease. This is why we have so much poverty. This is why we have so much violence, so much contrast, is because we are saying that our name is the most truest thing. That it reminds me of a saying that the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was convincing us that it didn't exist. That's the ego. So a lot of us think this is who I am. You pulled that trick on yourself because you had to forget who you are to experience this dimension, Just like you didn't know how to use this phone, you had to work it at some point. So you didn't know how to work yourself because you agreed to forget. You went into a coma. But you've been, what do you call it? You've been, what is that EKG? Boom. You've been pumped back to life. So what are you going to do with your life? How are you going to live your life? Ask yourself that question. So, like I said, thank you. If we continue, I'm only feeding the intellect. Michael's only feeding the intellect by feeding his own intellect. And that's not why we're here. So thank you so much for joining. Remember, we might be on tomorrow for the meditation, 7 a.m. Pacific, 7:30 a.m. Pacific for Spanish, 7 English, 7:30 Spanish. And please show support and love to my wife. The more support you show her, the more she can do what she does. Help her go viral because she's actually spreading love and kindness all over the nation. So this love and kindness needs to be viral. It already is, but most people are fighting it because they don't know how this operates. They don't know that they're giving substance to their name. And that's okay because we all had to do that. But it's time that we remember who we are. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow on the next live. I'm not sure what subject I'm going to talk about because what I'm doing, I'm going through my Facebook memories and from like 13 years ago is when I first started on Facebook. And I'm taking those things that I posted and I'm mirroring, showing what's possible when you don't give up. Because I'm living all those things that I posted because they seem like dreams. They seem like fantasies. They seem like maybe in the next life or maybe I'll be able to share it with somebody else, but I won't experience it. So I'm sharing it with you today because you can and you are experiencing the greatest version that you are. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next live. Much love. And as always, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you truly are.